Welcome back. Sorry I haven't been around for the last few days, but I've been playing Lumberjack. It's a long story, I'm not going to explain it here. I recently had a patron give me some really good advice. He told me that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and a video is worth a lot more. He suggested that while I spoke about barrel cleaning previously, showing it would be more effective. Well, since I have this studio set up, I thought, why not? So, here is barrel cleaning redone. Our specimen for today is a 1500 round 284 barrel that is quite filthy. It has been about 150 rounds since it was last cleaned. Barrels with more wear and firecracking foul faster, so this will likely be a little more of a chore than normal. It's been over a week since I fired it last, so I'm going to start a little more aggressively than I would with a barrel that was still warm from shooting. The last cleaning I did to it was during the free-all test, at which time it was almost returned to bare steel. Let's do a patch-by-patch breakdown of the cleaning routine. Since this barrel hasn't been very long since it was at bare steel, and it's approaching the end of life, this will be a general cleaning, not an attempt to clean it to bare steel. As a matter of fact, I will only use abrasives like JB Bore Paste in this barrel sparingly from here on. If I throw it out of tune by getting too aggressive, I can hasten its inevitable demise. Our solvents for today are Bortec Eliminator, and for stubborn copper deposits and layered deposit removal, I will be using KG Products number 12. Be forewarned that KG12 is cyanide-based, so it isn't good for you. I'd suggest keeping it off of your skin. The first thing we are going to do is fit a bore guide in the action. Then, I fit a brush to the rod and make certain it is concentric with the rod. It's a good thing I muted the audio from this because the first pass is a dry brush full length of the barrel. It absolutely howls when you do this. And I just push it straight through. I never reverse the brush. I just spin it off and pull the rod back, depending on the bore rider brush holder to protect the rifling. Now I fit the bore rider jag to the rod. It's time for some patchwork. After covering the stock with a paper towel to catch any drips, I wet a patch with Bortec Eliminator and push it straight through. I wipe off the rod after every pass through the barrel, and then give it about 2 or 3 minutes before pushing a second patch. And wiping the rod off again. Then a third patch. Now, we wait for the magic of chemical reactions to occur. Here are the first 3 patches. We have powder fouling and some copper. Not terribly unexpected for a barrel that is shot in F-class. We're amazingly hard on barrels. After doing some other projects, it's time to get back to the barrel. Soaking this long is off-label for Eliminator, but the stainless barrels I use don't seem to care. I would recommend being more cautious if you're using a chrome moly barrel. We're going to repeat the process with Eliminator for 2 more patches. Here they are in all their teal-colored glory. Back again for 1 more wet patch of Eliminator before bed. It's still making a lot of blue on the patches. Alright, it's morning again, and I'm pushing an Eliminator soaked patch again. This color tells me that I have quite a bit of copper remaining in the barrel, so I'm switching to KG12. First, I push 2 dry patches to get the Eliminator out. While I wouldn't recommend mixing solvents, it's impossible in a barrel with this much firecracking to eliminate all of the Eliminator. Yes, I made that pun up. So after dry patching, I push 2 soaking patches of KG12 through. Why do I always knock the paper towel off? Anyway, back to the peep show. Let's play What's Inside My Barrel? It comes out with significant brown streaks. I don't know if that is already loosened copper, carbon, or powder fouling, and honestly, I don't care. It's better outside of the barrel than inside. One note on KG12. It doesn't change colors when dissolving copper, so the copper shows up as brown streaks on the patches. It is strong stuff, and for a barrel that is cleaned on a regular basis, makes quick work of copper in the barrel. After an hour, another soaking wet patch of KG12. Now that's a lot of brown stuff. I'll let it sit for another hour. Well, that was a long hour. I'll do one more wet patch of KG12. This patch looks better. Now that we're done taking the copper out, let's dry patch a couple of times and use a Borescope eliminator to check for any remaining copper. I expect to see some blue on the patch. Copper collects in the fire cracks. I don't want to get that all out. I'd rather it sit in there and consume the space, so I'm not going to soak this barrel for the next 20 years trying to get perfectly clean patches. That is about perfect for my cleaning this time. Let's borescope it and see how we did. Off camera, I dried out the chamber and addressed the carbon ring at the case mouth. You can see that there is some carbon tapered from the bottom of the groove up to the lands. That isn't very thick at all, and wouldn't be a terribly good idea to work too hard at removing. This geriatric barrel will appreciate being treated gently. The baked on carbon from the throat out about 8 inches is all that remains in the barrel. This is, in my opinion, about perfect for continued service. This barrel still shoots great scores at 600 and 1,000 yards. As a matter of fact, this is the barrel on my backup rifle that I shot at the USF Class Nationals this year. There are a couple of lessons in this. The first is to simply clean the barrel. My way isn't the only way, nor is it the best way. It is just the way that works for me right now. Any day, I could try something new that works better. Be open to new ideas, but clean the barrel. The second lesson is in that Borescope video. The lands look hideous, yet the rifle still shoots quite well, and will for several hundred more rounds. Don't try to estimate barrel life remaining with a Borescope. The only thing I will guarantee is that if you think a barrel is too worn, it is the moment you think that. Your rifle's performance is a complex equation that occurs between your ears. That's all I have for you today. Shoot straight, clean your barrels, and be nice to our seasoned barrels, dogs, and people. See ya.